What's going on, everybody? Temperistic here, back again, and this video is going to be a reaction and response video to Colin Cowherd regarding esports people as booger eaters and everyone in the industry as booger eaters. And I'm going to go in depth about all three videos that he made and everything. I'm going to be sending this to you, Colin Cowherd, so you can watch it, just to give you a little bit of education of what you missed, everything that you missed in your video. So just to start things off, don't want this video to drag along too long, as I just want to get my point across. The first thing that I really want to talk about is your quote that you really live by, I guess, you said that you created. It's called, "How you react to criticism defines how accurate it is." To me, that's got to be one of the dumbest statements or quotes I've ever heard in my life. Just because somebody reacts kind of in a hate manner or angry manner towards what you say, you're basically saying that it's accurate what you're saying, which completely is false. You have to have evidence, and you have to have proof that what you're saying is actually legitimate and true, and you have not provided any of those details, facts and details. That's what I need to take what you say seriously, to make it legitimate. Number two, all of these esports people, they're not nerds. When you call somebody a nerd, you're basically I mean, you're not insulting us by calling us nerds. But just the way you say it, kind of already, um, it's a bad taste in my mouth when you start off the video by calling us nerds. It's kind of like you're trying to insult us on purpose. Um, so all these esports people are pissed off at you because you're completely ignorant and naive when it comes to video games and esports. You said something that you haven't played a video game, or the last time you played a video game it was Asteroids back in an arcade in 1984 or something like that. So when you haven't played a video game since then, it just keeps taking away your legitimacy of everything that you're saying. Usually people that talk about video games, talk about esports, want to debate about it, they have played video games pretty recently, at least in the last 5 years. So, the next video that you make, if you make another video regarding esports, talking smack about esports or making fun of it, please at least play, 1 hour at least of video games that have been created in the last 5 years, so you have a little bit of experience. Also, do a little bit more research. Go on Major League Gaming. Go on these tournaments. Go on ESLGaming.com. Check it out. See what it's about. So you don't just come off as somebody that's talking out of their butt. Um, my third point is you making all of those. Okay, so in the video, the first video that I saw was the one where you're saying that we're booger eaters and all this stuff. You roll this clip of a tournament where it's a fighting game tournament, 1v1. I'm not sure what video game it was. It was definitely a fighting game. It kind of resembled Super Street Fighter, but I know it wasn't that. Basically, you didn't know what was going on in the clip. I obviously, since I've been playing video games since I was 4 years old, and that's 19 years, going on 20 years, in a little bit of playing video games, I know what's going on. I've been playing fighting games for a very long time. So since you don't know what's going on, you make all these silly, childish faces, just being very unprofessional. Instead of talking about the clip, you're just, the whole time you're just making funny faces, just making fun of the whole thing. And actually, it was to me, to people that are in the esports industry, it's actually a pretty funny clip. Funny in a way like epic. Funny in a way like really hyped up. It's really an awesome clip, and one that will go down in history for the fighting game community. So moving on, and then you go on to make fun of people in the gaming community because you think that everyone is a virgin, which in reality, most of the professional video game players that are in this industry, whether they be professional Halo players, professional Call of Duty players, professional Hearthstone players, a lot of them have girlfriends, fiancés, they're married, So, and most of them actually look pretty gorgeous. Their girlfriends, their wives, their fiancés, they look pretty gorgeous, in my opinion. Also, you think that we eat like crap. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of us eat like crap, but the majority of us, from what I've seen, a lot of people that play video games that are professional, they are vegans. A lot of them are vegetarians, and most of them eat pretty healthy. And to the contrary, a lot of people that are professional video game players, about 99% of them have YouTube channels, and quite a few of them, especially Optic. They make videos to help out the community eat healthier. They make videos on, they blend smoothies. They make exercising videos. So, you know, they don't really eat like crap. The majority doesn't really eat like crap. Most of the stuff that you're saying is kind of the minority, but you're thinking that it's actually the majority. So just give you a little heads up on that. And then you say that we don't really go outside, when also in reality, people that are video game players that are professional, they have to travel, so they kind of have to go outside to travel, and they do make YouTube videos, sightseeing, whether they go out of state or they're staying in state, they're just going from state to state, competing in these massive national wide tournaments. I don't know if you've heard of the biggest YouTuber. His name is PewDiePie. He makes about $3.6 million a year, which is probably more than what you make. And he makes videos right now. He's doing a series in Los Angeles, making videos of him just sightseeing Los Angeles because he's from Sweden. So, it's a pretty cool series that he's doing. He's going outside the whole entire time, and he's making a pretty big buck off of that. And he also does a lot of videos of him playing video games as well. So, making millions off of that. Um, and a lot of other YouTubers do it as well. Um, and also, I don't know if you knew this, Colin Cowherd, but the esports industry is actually a billion-dollar industry. When we think about Major League Gaming, we think about ESL, all these different organizations, we combine it all together, and it actually is a billion-dollar industry. And a lot of people are actually in better shape than you, that are in this industry that you think we just sit on our butts all day and play video games when actually we're working, we're doing our job and stuff. Moving on. So if you're gonna make fun of us, I kind of have to make fun of you. I'm not gonna be too harsh on you, but first of all, I'm gonna make fun of your last name, Colin Cowherd. To me, it's more like Colin Coward. Instead of making fun of us, you could have invited a couple of established professional people from the esport industry to have a professional, fun debate or discussion about this whole thing. It would have brought a lot of views to your channel and podcasts, believe it or not. But instead, you went with the immature and unprofessional route. And now look at your channel. I mean, if I look right here, on this one video, you have 10 likes, 44 dislikes. Go to the next one, 35 likes, 221 dislikes. And then the big one, 134 likes, 4,643 dislikes. So, I mean, if I cared about my YouTube channel, which I do, I would be kind of disappointed. I'd be kind of devastated that margin was there. But I'm not sure if you care about your YouTube channel. If you do, I mean, look what happened. And just to give you another education, a nerd is actually someone that knows a lot about something. So I'm not sure if you knew what the real definition of a nerd is, but it actually is someone that knows a lot about something, which simply put means that everyone in this entire world is a nerd because somebody knows a lot about something, even though it's not, something that really matters. Still, somebody knows a lot about something. So that, yes, Colin, that means that you are a nerd too. You know a lot about football, you know a lot about basketball, you know a lot about sports, so you are a sport nerd. So, let's just get that out of the way. Stop calling people nerds because everybody is a nerd. Let's call people people. Let's say esports people, video game people, or those video game guys. Um, so moving on, you may think that esports is a joke, Colin, but many people in esports actually make millions. I just said this, but I'm going to go on to it. They make millions of dollars every single year. A lot of people like PewDiePie make, a few or even, over $5 million a year just making videos on YouTube. They get donations on Twitch. I mean, there's a whole thing that goes into this, Colin, that you probably don't know. I'm going to put all this stuff down in the description below. I'm going to send you the link for Twitch.tv. Check it out. I mean, there's so many people streaming on there, so many people making money as we speak. People are getting donations that are over $1,000. People are subscribed. I mean, it's insane how much money people are making as I speak right now. Um, just streaming on Twitch, just people watching them play video games, and then you make fun of people. Kind of how Jimmy Kimmel made fun of people because they watch people play video games. I mean, it's just like people watching, professional football players just play football. Same with watching any other sport. So I mean, if you're gonna make fun of that, you kind of have to make fun of people for watching, physical sports. They run tournaments. I mean, people are fans of teams, established teams that have sponsors. So I mean, if they're a fan of a team, of course they're gonna watch them play. It's just like a sport. I mean, they have two TV channels, in South Korea just for StarCraft, or the last time that I looked, they did. Um, I mean, there's huge. Probably the biggest tournament is ESL gaming organization holds the biggest tournaments, especially for Counter Strike, which you talked about a little bit in that 5 minute video of yours, the one that the first one you made about esports. Um, so moving on from that, um, we're gonna talk about why video games are a sport. I actually want to talk about something else, but I lost my thought. So we're gonna talk about why video games are a sport. Well, first of all, they take a lot of skill. It's a mind sport. I'm never going to say it's a physical sport, but it's a really big mind sport. It's just like chess. It's just like poker. It's pretty huge in that regard. So you can't really count it out as it not being a sport. If you count poker on ESPN being a sport, if you count chess being a sport, I mean, people travel to play poker, um, chess, just the same as people who play video games. And just to give you a couple more facts, the United States of America government gave visas to League of Legends professional players, and they only give those to athletes. So I'm never gonna say again that they're athletic in the regard of physicality, but they're athletic in the regard of mentality. It's a mental sport. It takes a lot out of you. If you've gone to these tournaments, if you competed, you will notice that after a few games, you're fatigued because you're just under a lot of pressure. It's a very hardcore, environment when you're with your team and you're competing for a lot of money, for a lot of respect, for a lot of bragging rights, and especially for that trophy. It takes a lot out of you, just like a real sport does when you're talking about, NFL or NHL or MLB. Um, and we have established organizations like Major League Gaming, like ESL, UMG, UGC, so many. And the two biggest sponsors that we have in this whole entire esports industry is two sponsors that you've probably heard of before: Monster Energy Drink, you've heard of that, and Red Bull Energy Drink. And they sponsor extreme sports, motorbike, motocross, snowboarding, all that stuff. So, and that really segues into my next thing, the X Games, which you probably know about. Uh, I don't know if you knew, but over the last couple of years, esports has actually been in the X Games, uh, regarded as a sport by ESPN and by the X Games themselves. They've been right next to the people that are motocrossing, having those competitions, snowboarding, skateboarding, all that stuff. And they've been handing out bronze, silver, and gold medals to Call of Duty teams. We actually had Dota 2 being there last year, and Optic Gaming has won gold medal from that. So if we're giving gold, silver, and bronze medals away, I mean, can you really say that this is not a sport? I mean, it really is a sport. It really is. It really is a mind sport. I mean, a mental sport. I mean, it's crazy how much it's grown since the Atari came out when video games first got started. But I mean, it's the year 2015. We have all this technology. Can you really say after all this that video games is not a sport? I can't believe anybody that really still says that video games are not a sport. And most people that say that are your age or older. So I mean, another thing I want to talk about is kind of something that really I think is freaking awesome, um, and would really open people's eyes, because a lot of people think that video games are unhealthy and they're not good for you. But there's actually an article here that it shows 9 ways that video games can actually be good for you. I'm not going to read all this stuff because it's a lot, so I'm just going to link it down below for you to read. But I'm just going to go over all of them really quick. So number one, Mario is like steroids for your brain. Basically, when you are playing video games, your brain activity is going crazy, compared to if you're just watching TV or whatever. And you can actually burn about 5,000 calories. A professional Halo player, Snipedown, actually said that when he went to the Red Bull, I think he went to the Red Bull headquarters or something, and they did tests on them, wanted to see, their vitals, how they were when they were playing video games. I guess they told him that he burned 5,000 calories, and that's pretty crazy when you're playing a video game, just sitting there, as you say. So moving on, video games may make you smarter. If you're constantly doing puzzles, playing card games, and even if you're playing a first-person shooter or action-adventure game, you're constantly having to, think, make strategies, being like, okay, how do I get over there without getting, shot at? How are we going to do this? You have to coordinate. So if you're doing that every single day for 8 hours a day, even 4 hours a day, nonstop, it's bound to make you smarter, right? So number three, video games may slow the aging process. Um, if you're constantly having brain activity, just exercising your brain every single day, and you're moving your body around in a healthy way with just video games, just making sure that your mind is always on in its top form. It kind of battles illnesses, mental illnesses like Alzheimer's and other ones. Just losing your memory, basically, it just helps. Um, so that basically just is slowing the aging process internally, not externally. There's nothing that can really slow the aging process externally, but internally, that's what video games do, especially for your brain. Number four, obviously, it's going to help dyslexic kids read better. If you're constantly playing video games where you have to read, if you're playing story mode and you have subtitles on and you have all this stuff that you have to read, especially if you're playing puzzle game and all this stuff, then it's going to help people read better. So I mean that's kind of common sense right there. Number five. There's a video here that shows teen gamers being better at virtual surgery than real medical residents. I haven't watched this video, but it's pretty cool. You could probably check it out right there. Number six, video games can be a pain reliever if if you just lost your arm, or like especially with military people coming back from Afghanistan or whatever they're stationed. They come back. Let's say they get amputated, they lose a limb or whatever, and they have to go through recovery and all this stuff. Playing video games will distract their mind from the pain and all this stuff, and they're probably depressed that they're lost a limb, and it's probably gonna help playing video games. So I mean, video games are just healthy overall, mentally and physically. It's just really healthy. And also, video games can improve your eyesight, especially first person shooter games. This is number seven. It says Call of Duty can improve your eyesight. I mean, if you're looking at a video game that's 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second, you're looking at all these different frames, and you have to make in-game decisions right on the spot. And you're looking at all this stuff over and over again. Your eyes are going to adjust to these little things that you have to see that you wouldn't see in real life. So it's just going to improve your eyesight. Number eight, video games can be as effective as one-on-one counseling. Let's say you're depressed, you're having suicidal thoughts, play video games. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've had suicidal thoughts in my life. I've been depressed, and I play video games, and then it all just goes away. Believe it or not, it just vanishes just like that. And then last one, number nine, they can help stroke victims more fully. They can help stroke victims more fully recover. And that just goes into what I said with military people coming back. Just any kind of pain, any kind of stress, any kind of thing that you have to recover from. Video games are just going to distract your mind from all the pain and everything and all the stress, and it's just going to help more. So that's something that I'm going to send to you, Colin Cowherd, in the description below. You can check it out. It's really cool to look at. I definitely advise you to. And another thing that you talked about, we're almost done with this video, is that you said, and this ties into my first thing, talking about just because we react to what you're saying in a hostile way doesn't mean that it's actually true what you say. That's completely ludicrous. You said that if you go up to a supermodel, call her ugly, she's not going to care. You said that if you go up to Morgan Freeman or an actor and say that they're a bad actor, they're not going to care. Well, I mean, if you just say that, of course they're not going to care. But if you go into detail and talk smack, and you really go into detail with your smack talking, of course they're going to care, which is what you're doing. So that is completely ridiculous what you said. So I mean that's basically all I have to say about that. All these points, and I'm not really trying to say that you're dumb, Colin Cowherd. I mean everybody has their own opinion on everything, but I just really want to educate you on everything because it seems like with the video that you made, you don't really know too much about this. So that's all I want to do. I just want to help you understand what goes in on this. So I'm going to send you all these links. Check them out. You would be very surprised on how uninformed you've been. So that's going to be it. But basically, the last thing I have to say to you, Colin Cowherd, is video games and esports are here, and they are here to stay.